Welcome to Stage Your Savvy, insider secrets to stage your home and sell it for more. My name is Stephanie, and this is the podcast where we bring you the latest tips, tricks, and expert insights from the world of professional home staging. And I'm joined by my friend and fellow staging expert, Kandice.
Hi, everyone. We may be competitors in the Denver market, but we believe in abundance and collaboration over competition. And we're here to share our collective knowledge with you. So sit back, relax, and get ready to learn from the experts. This is Stage Your Savvy.
Welcome back to Stage Your Savvy, everybody. I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Kandice.
And if you want your listings to shine in 2026, today's episode is one that you really don't want to miss. We are going to break down the top staging trends for 2026. What's in, what's fading out, what will help sellers create that I need to live here moment and the second buyers walk in. So welcome back to Stage Your Savvy, everyone. I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Kandice, and we are your guides to making home staging simple, strategic, and seller-friendly. Today, I'm excited about this episode. We are pulling back the curtains and talking about how stagers price their services.
Yes. It's going to be good.
It is not a one price fits all situation. So we're going to give you a little guide on how stagers price their services so that you have a better understanding of what you're getting when you hire a stager.
Yes, love it. There's so many misconceptions here, right? That stagers just make up their prices. Really, for every job, they're going to whatever. That it's all profit or that everything is just based completely on square footage. And so we're here to clear it all up so that you understand what goes into the quote and what you're actually paying for. And spoiler alert, it's a lot more than just pretty furniture.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So let's start with why pricing seems so mysterious.
Well, for one, every stager and staging business prices differently than others. So people only see the final result, the beautifully staged living room, bedroom, etc. They don't see all that goes on behind the scenes, the work, the inventory costs, the logistics, the labor, the risk, all of these things take into account when we're pricing a bid. Yeah. Most stagers aren't hiding anything. It's just complex service that involves a lot of pieces to the puzzle.
Yeah.
So sellers don't realize that we're many businesses under one umbrella. So we're running many moving companies, design studios, logistics operations, and warehouses all at one time. And the price reflects the value of the entire ecosystem.
Yeah, I love it. It's such a good way to look at it. Like you have all these different things and you're juggling everything. So let's talk about all of that.
Yes.
What actually goes into staging costs? So if we break down the behind the scenes factors that most people never think about when they see a quote. So first up, the inventory investment. I mean, you got to buy your stuff, right? Furniture, artwork, rugs, greenery, plants, bedding, accessories. You have to purchase it. You have to store it. You have to maintain it. You have to repair it. And then you have to replace it if something gets broken. It's basically, it's like this constantly evolving showroom that you have to maintain.
Exactly.
And I mean, I can't even imagine. not my business model, but it's a lot of work. And but you're investing, I don't know, tens of thousands of dollars annually to keep your styles fresh, to keep things competitive. Like you have to continue investing every single year in new stuff so that it doesn't look dated when it's in a staged home.
And so let me just pop in, tariffs, since COVID, everything, the
Oh
price has
gosh.
gone up on things. So we have to take into consideration what we are paying for each piece that goes in. So even 5 years ago, the pricing was very different than it is now because everything has a price tag. Every lamp, every piece of decor, every piece of art, everything that goes into a stage home has a price attached to it. And those prices have increased quite dramatically.
Mm, yeah. And it has to show up in the pricing on that you're giving to your clients. Like you can't eat all that.
No,
Yeah.
no, that is a huge part of the pricing is what is the inventory cost going into the property
Yeah.
when you add up all the things that you're bringing in. So that's a huge part. In fact, it's about half of the bid usually is what inventory is going in. So if the house is smaller, that inventory cost is going to be less. If the house is larger, that inventory cost is going to be a lot more.
Right.
Important.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So the other part of this is the labor and the time.
Right.
A typical project includes a consultation, a design plan, pulling and packing the inventory, loading the trucks, staging and destaging, cleaning the furniture, repairing the furniture, restocking, especially. A lot of people forget that we go into our warehouse and individually wrap things to put in a bin to go to the property. But then when we destage, we have to spend that time putting it back on the shelves and restocking it. So that can be time consuming as well.
Sure.
So one staging job can mean multiple people, multiple hours to just get it put together.
Yeah. Wow. So much work. I think people have no idea.
They think that we're driving a truck around throwing furniture out for various jobs. And
Right.
it just doesn't work that way.
But you're really moving a whole home. You're moving a whole house in a day. I mean, yeah, you don't have all the little things, the kitchen accessories. I mean, not accessories, but utensils and, like all of that personal stuff. But all the other big stuff
we're hanging the art. Yeah, we're making the beds. We're checking the light bulbs and the lamps. And yeah, I mean, it's very time consuming.
Yeah, it's a lot. Let's talk logistics because I know people don't think about this. Transportation.
It's one of the biggest parts.
Sure. Like you either own a truck or you have to rent a truck, right? You have to put gas in the truck. You have to get the truck, insurance, you're paying rent on your warehouse or a mortgage, I guess, if you own your warehouse space.
Yeah.
Any equipment. And then you have to take the time to schedule, to coordinate the movers and to navigate those timelines, because it's not like you're just going to get on the phone and 30 seconds later it's going to all be laid out and you're going to know exactly what's happening, right? It takes time to get all of those things set up.
Coordinated. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And on the timeline that, the realtors want it in, which I like to tell my clients, it's going to be about a week from signing of the contract to actual staging. And in the busy season, it can be longer than a week, but it takes time to coordinate those movers, to do the design plan, to select all the inventory, to pack it up, move it. So all of those things come into play in a staging.
And that's a week from the contract. That's not even including the time it takes you like to get to the home and check it out and scheduling that preview.
Exactly. And figuring out what inventory is going to come into the property.
Right.
So, I mean, there's really a lot that goes into it. And
so it's not going to happen in 2 to 3 days like a lot of people think.
Now, some people can do it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I can't do it. I could maybe do a 5-day turnaround, but it's not as easy as you think. So, and on top of all of this, we have the risk and the liability. We're a lot of times going into vacant homes where nobody's there. We can do our job easier, but in an occupied home, we're working around their stuff, and the risk involved with moving furniture, and so we're also in charge of if anything is damaged, or if there was theft, or if there was a loss of some kind, or maybe that people had a flood, or so all of those things go into play as well. And we carry that risk as stagers.
Yeah.
So we all should have, most stagers carry their own liability insurance to cover if anything is going to happen like that, and health insurance as well. So when you add all of these elements together, you start to see why the prices vary so much. Some people have a large warehouse that they cover those costs. Some people don't. Some people rent. Some people don't want to carry an inventory at all. So all of those come together, and that kind of gives you the reason why this is a specialized service.
For sure it is. Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot. Let's talk now that we've talked about the why, let's look at how stagers are actually structuring their pricing. So some of the more common pricing models that are out there that people might see. First up, flat fee plus a monthly rental. This is probably the most common approach.
Yeah.
So they pay that upfront installation fee, which includes labor, the logistics, the design, right? Plus then the monthly rental for furniture inventory, or however the stagers, some people give them, I don't know, maybe it's 2 months included, then you pay extra, whatever. I don't know. But flat fee plus a monthly rental.
Exactly. Another approach is per room, room-based pricing. So each room has a set price depending on the size, the importance, the amount of inventory going in that's needed. The primary bedroom, the living room, the dining room, those all carry the most weight. Oftentimes they are the highest parts of the bid because a lot of things go into a living room, a lot happens in a dining room. So those are usually the most expensive areas to stage if you do a room by room pricing.
Most expensive and most important, I would say, too.
Yes, for sure. And what's interesting is a lot of people think that they want to save money and don't want to do the master bedroom or primary bedroom, whatever, which actually is next to the kitchen, the most important room to stage, because buyers want, it's where they're going to be their respite, where they're going to have their, time away. They spend most of their time in the master bedroom, actually. So I think you should never skimp and not do the master bedroom. It has huge emotional pull.
Sure. I mean, that's going to be their space, right? That's people with the money, that's what they want to see.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So another option, square footage pricing. This is not as common, but some people still use it. This is it works best like consistent new builds where maybe the layout and the size is predictable. So you can say, oh, it's X amount of square feet. It's however many dollars per square foot. So they can easily give a quote by using that method. But again, it's probably better if it's a consistent product that you're staging.
Another one that just popped in to my mind is a lot of stagers, especially in like New York and California, are able to do a percent of the list price, 1%.
Oh, yes.
That's a very popular method, but in where we are in Colorado, it doesn't really fly. So, but it does give you an idea of how you could charge for the job. If you did that, I kind of sometimes take that into consideration in my mind. Okay, well, this is what the list price is going to be. So it could be about this. Usually doesn't work out that well in Colorado.
Yeah. Okay.
So the other thing we have is tiered pricing. So maybe you maybe want a consultation, just the consultation. That's of course different. Maybe you need just partial staging. So it's an occupied home and you just need a few enhancements brought in. That's other pricing. And then sometimes agents will want just some accessories, some lamps, some art. I have that happen quite a bit, and I think you do too. Just to make it look and feel really, luxury level. If it doesn't, and it's amazing how many of my clients don't have lamps in their master bedroom. Most people just don't have a lot of art on their walls. So a lot of times that will do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the pricing is very different in that case, but it always involves what you're bringing in, how long is it going to take, how you're going to get it there and get it home. So all those to consider. So each stager really has their own formula, but all of them take those things into consideration: the labor, the time, the design expertise, which let me just say, that's one of the hardest pieces of this puzzle. And, when we're designing a space in our mind, it takes some time to see what kind of layout's going to work and how we're going to bring, some color and some art. And so that expertise is a lot of what you're paying for, because not very many people can go into a room and envision the big picture of what's going to be needed in there, lamps, art, pillows, all these different things.
For sure. Yeah.
All those go into play.
Yes. Love it. So, okay, if we're all thinking about all of these things, why are prices varying so much between stagers? Like, why will this stager give me a quote that's way up here and this stager way down here when they're bidding on the same house?
Drives me bananas.
I'm sure.
I could bid something for $3,400 and a cheap stager could do something for $1,200. Most of the time, a cheap stager is an inexperienced stager, and they don't really understand their numbers, their profit margins, their costs to them. And so maybe they don't. Maybe they have a huge warehouse and multiple people. So, some bids are going to be higher because they got to account for all this other stuff that they're providing. Whereas some bids can be less, in my opinion, because they're newer and they haven't really learned how to price very well. And maybe they buy cheap inventory, and so they don't charge properly for what's going into the house. So lots of different models, and it's very difficult when you're competing against a low price stager and the client says you're over by $2,000. We got to go with the cheap stager. But a lot of times people don't understand the value that perhaps the higher priced is going to get you. Experience, better inventory. I mean, there's just so many things that go into it. So there are a lot of varying estimates out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Upgrading.
Okay.
But a lot of people are not just overcharging. They are actually basing their costs on their costs. And so all these different business models all have different prices. And the one thing that I can say is that staging is an investment in the sale of your home. It's not an expense. Homes that are staged still, and if they're staged well, still sell faster and for more money, even in this strange market.
Yeah. I mean, and imagine, like, people don't understand. Maybe they don't want to pay $5,000 for staging, but in a month, they're going to be reducing their price by $10,000, $20,000. Like, if you would have spent that $5,000, you would have been ahead of the game right from the get-go.
Absolutely. And that's something I always think about too, is like, when they call if it doesn't sell right away, they call and they're like, well, I think we're going to destage. Okay, well, let's think about this. Maybe your monthly rental is $1,500 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Well, more than likely in that next month, you are going to lower your price of your home by thousands.
Right.
So
that
why
$1,500 is
not
nothing.
continue to keep the staging instead of lowering the price? It's very interesting.
Yeah.
The philosophy.
Yeah. People and also I think when they understand, now that we've talked all this through, when they understand what they're paying for, hopefully it now suddenly is going to make a whole lot more sense to them.
Absolutely.
And when we talk about price drops also, like, yeah, if you can avoid a $20,000 price drop by spending $5,000, that seems like a no-brainer. But now they can also think about, okay, I'm not just renting a sofa, I'm paying for a transformation that's going to help buyers emotionally connect with the space. And that's huge. You're paying for the expertise, you're paying for strategy, you're paying for the presentation. And and also, most importantly, you're paying for the higher return on your sale. I mean, louder for the kids in the back, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Kandice, let's finish up with some quick takeaway tips for this episode.
Okay, so staging pricing isn't random, at least for those of us in the professional side of the business.
Yes.
It's based on labor, logistics, inventory, expertise. Every staging company has a slightly different business model or business structure, which is why there is a big difference in pricing. No, there's no one size fits all, no one price fits all stages. It just doesn't work that way. Quality staging is one of the highest return on investment sellers can make. And a good stager, if you're questioning how they came to the bid, ask your stager. Most of us are happy to explain how we came to that price. So ask questions.
Love it. Love it. Thank you. Good. All right, everybody, thanks for joining us today. This was a good behind the scenes look at how staging pricing really works. So we hope this helps you feel more informed, more confident, and empowered, whether you're a seller, an agent, or even a curious fellow stager who needs to increase their prices. So be sure to subscribe, share this episode, and find us on Instagram at Stager Savvy. Until next time, happy staging, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Stager Savvy, Insider Secrets to Stage Your Home and Sell It for More. We hope you've enjoyed our discussion on home staging and gained some valuable insights that you can apply to your own real estate journey.
If you have any questions, ideas for future episodes, or would like to learn more about our services, please feel free to visit our website, stagersavvy.com, or reach out to us directly at stagersavvy@gmail.com. We're always happy to help.
Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast to stay up to date on all the latest episodes. And if you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review. Your feedback is incredibly valuable to us and helps us improve our content and reach more people.
Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.